drivers were up to beating Brocky, Gricey, Dick Johnson and other locals in Australia's biggest race.
The stage was set. The international boys had arrived, and nowhere was the expectation more intense than up on the campsites at Performing Park. The Hondas and other foreign drivers had no chance, was the typical sentiment amongst the Holden and Ford fans. After all, everyone knows the Jaguar make good road engines. They knew little of Jaguar's determination in 1985, and even less about the competition history despite winning the European Touring Car Championships in 1985.
Another red one, B66.
Tasmanian director for a couple of times now. I'm sure there'll be some presentations later to it, but from Geraldine and I as club members, we just would like to recognise the effort that we know, because she lives down the road from us and we're fairly good friends, that she's put into this event. We just thought we'd like to make a little presentation to it tonight in recognition of all her efforts. So,
it's my first go at these racing things, and I've got to tell you, you're nuts if you don't do it. It's the only time you will have the experience of just you, the car, and the road. Chris did a fabulous job in coercing me into this competition, but I'll be there again because I can only improve. And that's really because I was last. That's great. So thank you. Thank you very much.
And the last one that Shannon have provided us tonight is the rally directors one that was my choice. But tonight I'm going to award it to Wayne and Kathleen Melville for their Mark 9 1959 car, which featured in the local newspaper on Sunday if you saw it. So I will have to hand this over to them at one of our runs sometime, but I'm really pleased that I could give them a bit of a lift with this. So thank you very much.
Yesterday, for those of you that managed to get out to the sporting event, we had a great day. Of course, the weather was good, and the CMI, our friends from the Club Vittoria Italia, who put on the event for us, because our club's not big enough to run a sporting event. I mean, we don't have that many people that are petrol heads, I guess. The day itself, as I said, it was fine. It started off, for those that weren't there, with a what's called a regularity hill climb. And it was interesting because normally the way we run them at Nationals, the regularity event, whatever it is that you go around and then do it again straight away. But in this case, because CMI had 55 entries for the main event, including us, they had to hold off and until the 55 had gone through, and then you got another run. And absolutely amazingly, this guy who drives an XJS, I'll look up his name here, I'm trying to forget him because he's not a Tasmanian. Hang on, I'll just look down here somewhere. Where are we? He drives drives a black XJS which says it's 5993 litres, but actually I think that should be 8993 because it went pretty well. And he, I don't know, he must have sort of cruise control in this car because it went round twice in 64.09 and then half an hour later did 64.09 again. And that's pretty hard to beat in a regularity event if any of you have ever been in it. That's sort of, yeah, well, black sets would never keep it that good for you, so he did pretty well. And of course, Jeffrey Bott is the winner of the National Event Sporting Prize.
You got that on a timer? Sorry? You got that on a timer? What a huge box contains really good. Big Yes.
As part of the event, I think we sort of invented this about maybe 4 or 5 nationals ago, that we'd have a team, we'd get 3 teams, New South Wales, Victoria and Tasmania, and the competition was fairly close. Team, which is a bit hard for me being part of it, was Tasmania. Which is actually becoming a bit of a habit for Tassie. We've won it a number of times over the last few years at different. The other 2 teams, New South Wales and Victoria, which was Ross Donnelly, Jeff Bott, and Anthony Pallas, or Tony Pallas, as he's better known, in New South Wales, and Steve Wattle, Roy Armfield, and Jeff Leake were the Victorian team. And it was really interesting to see Roy, who I sort of had to hold his hand a little bit to sign up. He was very keen to be in the event. Had never been in a serious event before with his 150, which is, if you remember, a fixed head green 150, a lovely car. And I think he had the time of his life. And the only other thing I'd like to do is to call up Ed Newton and myself to have the prize presented. And